want to share with you how I built a successful tutoring business with over 300 students in just 3 years, all while still being at university and doing a science degree. I want to preface this by saying that I'm not special. I'm just like you in many, many ways. And I think that anyone can monetize their mind and their expertise. Either you can be great academically, you can be great in terms of fitness, you can be great in terms of being good at a martial arts. And you can take that knowledge and you can start the easiest business, which is just teaching it to other people. Teaching what you already know to someone else who's either 1, 2, or 3 or 4 steps behind you is probably the easiest business to start, especially if you're young, because there's very low overhead, there's very low setup costs, and it's very fulfilling to start a business like this. There's 5 ways that you can start doing this, and the first way is to actually reflect on what makes you unique or better than other people. That came out kind of wrong, but what makes you unique and different to what's already on the market right now. So maybe you're specifically good at Muay Thai. So I have a friend, he's the state champion of Muay Thai, and he's amazing at Muay Thai. He's really good, and he's also really good at teaching it as well. And I suggested to him that he maybe post some of his content out and publish videos of him training or videos teaching people just different techniques and moves and things that we learn at the gym. And that way he can gain a following of people who are specifically interested in training Muay Thai. For me, I finished in the top 5% of my state, and I just love doing science and maths. So I knew that for me, I wanted to actually start a business around education, especially while still at university. I knew that I could easily teach those concepts because I was able to score so well, and I could take that expertise and then share it with other people. And even if you feel like you don't have some sort of great trait about you, I'm sure that if you reflect on your life, kind of map out your life from when it started to now and see what the common themes are. What have you been good at? Maybe you're good at video games. Maybe you're good at like writing. Maybe you're good at something like unique, like crocheting. I don't know why I thought of crocheting, but I know some people that are good at crocheting. So there's something that you're good at, and then see how you can provide that as a service to somebody else. Services are the easiest ways to start with a business. Products are a bit difficult. It's difficult to kind of get all the supplies and then put them all together in like a supply chain and deliver them. That's a bit more tricky if you want to build a product from the ground up. The second step is to actually make a business plan. And by business plan, I don't mean project yourself 10 years into the future. Most people don't even know what they're going to do next week. So don't focus on what's to do 10 years from now. Focus on how you can build your business in 1 year. And since you're starting out, you really don't know all the things that are going to come up. There's so much nuance to what happens when you start a business. There's so many challenges that come up, challenges that you can face and you can do, because anything is possible if you're able to break it down into smaller steps and then systematically go through and achieve those steps and complete them. So think about what you want your business to look like a year from now. If you can think about that, and if you can kind of write it out, verbalize it, and kind of imagine what it should look like, then that's a good second step for you to take. The third thing that I would say is to actually get your first client. Don't just plan everything and be like, oh, I'm gonna plan everything out. I want it to be perfect, and then I'll get a client when everything's perfect. Nothing's ever gonna be perfect. So just get your first client, and just by virtue of getting that first client, maybe you realize you were focusing on the wrong thing. You weren't actually focused on the right thing that's most beneficial to the client. Because whoever you're teaching, whether that be tutoring, like high school tutoring, primary school tutoring, whether that be coaching someone in soccer, basketball, or some sort of martial arts, by actually teaching them face to face, being with them and working with them, you can see what their actual struggles are. Like I could just sit down and not work and with my clients. I can get my staff to work with my clients instead. But that's not going to help me understand what their problems are. And by working alongside my students, I can see what they're really struggling with. I could make a completely different syllabus that would not help them, or would not help the majority of them if I ignored this crucial step. So work alongside your client for the first year. Don't just delegate it to somebody else. Actually work alongside it. Actually work alongside them and see what you can do to help improve them. The fourth tip is to actually invest back into your business. Most people, they take the money that their clients give them and they just spend it on some like random stuff. They're like, oh, I'm gonna go buy like a Mercedes AMG. Like, don't do that. Actually invest it back, because every dollar you put back is just assuming that you're doing it smart and you're not just wasting money. You'll get that dollar back much faster. So if you're able to invest back into your business, so rather than, I guess, making invoices by hand, try and actually get a software that does that for you. Like, where in my workplace, or the place that I've kind of designed, we have technology to help us do a lot of the things that a normal admin person would do. We don't make invoices by hand. We get a computer to make that. We don't send an email separately to our 300 or so clients. We can just get the computer to send it out, like the same email out to like hundreds of people. We don't we don't call someone up to actually come into work. We have a system in place that they get rostered for that. And if you invest back into it, and a lot of these technologies were, probably worth hundreds of thousands of dollars 20 or 30 years ago. So probably when you were born, who was watching this, when you were born, the technologies that you have right now, cheaply, like website builders and software to manage clients, that was tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars of money back in 2000 and the 1990s that you don't have to spend anymore. You don't have to spend so much money on building a website. Don't tell someone that you need to, don't let someone tell you that you need to spend $10,000 building a website. You don't need to spend that much money. You need to spend maybe $50, get a domain, and then get a website, build it, put it together. Don't waste too much time on just the website. But you can do so much of the things that was so difficult to do before for a low price now. So you can start a business so quickly with this technology and really invest back into it. Like, I could go on for days about this, but I'm just going to keep it a bit more succinct. But I want you to invest that money back into your business, invest into better assets, invest into developing the right systems for the business to function properly. I guess that goes on my fifth point, which is that you have to come up with an ecosystem of assets. Someone's going to come to you and they're not going to want to give you their money straight away. You haven't proven your value. You want to give them an ecosystem of assets to choose from. When you go to a restaurant, even a really expensive restaurant, you'll have a menu where you have low-end things, high-end things, and there's different things tailored to different people. Maybe you've just come to this restaurant for the first time, you're not with anyone important, so I guess you don't want to show off, or you don't care about like looking like you, I don't know. Basically, like, you can create a ascending transaction model, or like a transaction ladder, and the first thing you want to do is give things for free. Some things you can give for free are YouTube videos, are free guides. You can give things like a free consultation, or like a free assessment, or a free trial. That's the first rung in that ladder. And you want to then have a product for prospects. What's a product for prospects? It's something relatively cheap. Maybe they can spend $10 on like a booklet of yours. Maybe they can spend like $5 on like a workout program. Just something that gets them comfortable doing business with you. Because not everyone wants to spend thousands of dollars, hundreds of dollars all up front, and they shouldn't be. Like, I'm not comfortable spending that much money up front on a service that I have no idea about. And sometimes you don't have to be doing this. Like, you don't have to be doing this directly and with your time. You can put this together on your website. Your website becomes a brochure in a way. So that's like your second part of your ascending transaction model. The third part is your core product, and your core product is your service. And assuming that we're going to start some sort of tutoring business, some sort of coaching business where we're providing services in terms of teaching, we don't want to compromise on our cost here. This is our main thing. We have the highest quality in this area. We have the highest, I guess, margins in this area as well, because people have already become comfortable with our first few rungs of our ladder. So this third rung is where we actually provide them with the value that they want and solve the specific problem that they want. So think about what you want your, I guess, ascending transaction model to look like, what you want to give for free, what you want to give for a very low price, what you want to give for a price that you're not willing to compromise for. And usually that's a price that you're setting on your time, because you're selling your time in most cases. And the last thing is something called the next logical step. This is a bit of a tough one for me to recommend, because the next logical step would be very unique to your own business. It could be selling like a higher ticket item, selling, maybe instead of selling to clients, you now have something that you sell to like businesses, sell to bigger clients, like really big clients. Maybe it's something that like an LMS or like a learning system, like a course, like a set of courses that you can sell to them at a much higher, I guess, margin. So that would have to depend on how your business goes. And a lot of this is just learning as you go. If you just put in the effort of kind of teaching or doing these things as often as you can and working on your business as often as you can, you just solve the whatever next problem comes up. If there's a problem that comes up, you just solve that. Then the next problem and the next kind of step up the mountain becomes clear, and you can figure that out. It's almost like you're climbing a mountain in this fog that makes you not see the top. You don't know where the top is. And maybe the top will change from time to time, and maybe what you think was the top wasn't actually the top. There was actually something further up. But as you climb closer and closer to the peak, you can actually tell what the next thing for you to do is. And if you actually act on this for an entire year, you do these 5 different things for 1 year, you'll be amazed at how quickly your business grows and how much your life will change. So those are my 5 tips. I could go and do a second part of this video as well. There's a lot that I've kind of cut out because there's so much nuance to this, like how to hire staff, if you should even hire staff. If you want me to do like a very, very in-depth video, just like let me know, and I'll maybe put one of those together for you guys.